actually gonna get right into it. And they really wanna know how. How can I blaze my own path? How can I be successful? How can I follow that path that somebody else has laid for me to be successful?
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life.
Man, it's a blessing. You know, I always knew that I had the drive to go far and to kind of, you know, do things the way that I saw fit. It's a real blessing. You know, we went from, you know, a food truck, an old bread truck converted into a mobile kitchen to an actual built from the scratch, ground up mobile kitchen. So now to an actual brick and mortar, and hopefully pretty soon to go even further. Now that I take everything into perspective and the reality of things, I think it's a big deal, real big deal, and it's really amazing. I've had my setbacks. I've made mistakes. As with everyone else, no one's perfect. So to be doing the things I'm doing now, to be getting the type of exposure I'm getting, everywhere I go now, people, oh, Smackers, yeah, Smackers, I done heard that, I love y'all food, what time y'all close? I gotta get back there today. I've been back there 3 times this week. And it really just makes me happy. And it's a feeling like no other.
You already know, man, if you're a boss, you gotta support black-owned businesses, man, as soon as you get to Memphis.
Welcome to Smackers, home of the small plates and big taste. How may I take your order?
These niggas eating all over the world, so they gonna let me know the real about this motherfucking salmon. What it do, Jay? For real, what it do? Is it smacking?
I can't even talk without smacking.
So I'm in Memphis working. They got me working at Smackers as the window girl. So y'all come see me. I'm here all week.
Go ahead and boss up and come by Smackers. You know what I mean? It's a small place with a big taste.
Y'all done ate all over the world. Y'all done tasted salmon in a lot of places. What y'all think about the salmon at Smackers?
Let me tell you something. That shit's smacking. That shit's smacking.
It's my big homie. It's a big time hustler with big time dreams, you dig? So go ahead and stay down and do what you're supposed to do and support the team.
You never know who's gonna be your waitress today. It might be Ming at the counter.
And Ming just clocked out. She just clocked out.
Try to eat.
Let me tell you something. Memphis, Tennessee, y'all got me fucked up with how good this food is.
It's almost like a certain sense of fame, and it's crazy. You know, I go places and get this type of feedback and reaction from people, and it's like, damn, it's really happening. And I do believe that things are actually gonna get bigger and better, and so that's my whole plan right now, is to really keep pushing, keep striving. I've always been a hustler, always been a go-getter. You know, I really ain't never let anything, you know, stray me away from doing the things that I want to do, or achieving the things I wanted to. I've always, it's my mama. What's up, Ma? Yeah, y'all over there? Yeah. Okay, I'm on my way.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price.
Right now, a few different little things we're gonna do today. Business-wise, Smackers business. Stay tuned.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price.
We've been doing business with Kevin for about 4 years now. He had licked the plate, 6 years? Time flies. But he had licked the plate and he was doing outstanding business, and we were trying to be his #1 provider of his equipment over there. So what happens is you have good quality equipment with a customer who's really pursuing a great business. Kevin came right to us, asked us if we could help him open up the Smackers restaurant. And I mean, it's been a marriage, come true for us. He serves quality product. His guests know it, his vendors know it, and we know it as well too. So Kevin and the Smackers organization's just been doing great. We only hope we can see them grow into the next, few years into, 6 or 7 operations, hopefully. The equipment he buys from us is fryers, griddles, charbroilers, the cooking equipment, and the smallwares as well too. So he's just really been doing a great job with us, and I think that we've been helping him out as well too, keeping our prices down so we could keep his prices down and be able to serve quality product to everybody.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price.
I always like to eat. I was never afraid to try different types of food, different styles of cooking. As I got older and was, able to do different things and see different places and travel, I always said, if I go to China, I want to really get down and dirty. I want to see what they culture's about. I want to taste the food, up close and personal. I want to really, no matter what it looked like, I want to try it. And I always knew that, flavors meant a whole lot. So I wanted people to kind of, when they tasted my food, I wanted to make them happy. So I started cooking, playing around different things, and I would taste it because I love to eat. I know flavors.
I don't remember what age he was, but I knew that he liked to eat. We liked to eat, but his mother was a fair cook herself. She was a good cook, so he just kind of picked up things from her. Well, I'm just very, very proud of him, and just proud of him as I can be, knowing that he can do this. And the business part of it, I really didn't realize he had all that in it. He certainly didn't get the business part from me. But it just makes me happy to see him able to carry on. And seem like he tries to help his family, who want to work, to have a little job. And I'm just as proud as I can be. Kevin was quite young, and this lady moved on Pole Street where we lived, and she was trying to take care of herself, and she was making these homemade earrings. And Kevin was just a boy. He went out and had her to arrange some earrings for me, and I still have them. Yeah, he's a caring person, and I just look at him. He seemed to be trying to help different members of the family and help them to get things going, in housing and jobs and things like that.
I actually grew up around, it started with my father, my mother and my father rather. My dad used to cook a lot in the neighborhoods. Well, we're from Fayette County, so my daddy was a good cook out there. He cooked for just about everybody. He cooked anything now, anything, and it would be good. But yeah, possum, goat, whatever, but he cooked for everybody. I started cooking, I can remember I would get up in a chair, because I'm not a very tall person. But I'd get up in the chair and get up to the stove and cook anything I wanted. I watched my mom and I learned from that. When I went to the military, I was a food service specialist. And my cooking career really shot off from there, because when I came home, I worked at Le Bonheur, I worked at Methodist in food care, and I was a clerk in food service, but I could cook or do anything else I wanted to do. Kevin liked to eat, and Kevin was gonna eat. So Kevin would cook for himself. He just catch on, he caught on. He would just cook anything he wanted. So it went from there. He told me one day, I remember Kevin said, Mama, I'm gonna have a food truck. And I thought to myself, okay. And I was like, all right, sure. And one day Kevin came home and Kevin had a food truck, and it was one of the beautifulest in Memphis. The beautifulest one I had seen, clean. He's a real stickler when it comes to cleanliness. He'll get on you, perfectionist to the max. And he got the truck, and it went real well. So another day he came home, he said, Mama, I'm fixing to open a restaurant, a drive-through for right now. And lo and behold, he did. And his food is not because he's my son, but he's one of the best cooks I know. He might have me a little bit, I guess, but he's a good cook. He's a real good cook, and he's doing well, and I'm so proud of him because friends, family, anybody, he'll help anybody. Kevin is good, and I'll text him and tell him how much I love him and how proud of him I am. And I am, and I just sit back and watch him work, and he'll help anybody, and that's just goodness. And now he's ready to try to embark on the next a sit-in, and I think that would be really good because his food is worth waiting for, but I would just love to be able to just sit in his brick and mortar and yes, thoroughly. Because that Salmon Club is off the, what you people say, you young people, off the chain. I see Kevin in probably not even 5 years, in the next year or so, with his own establishment, his own sit-down restaurant. And I know it's gonna be a wang-dang-doodle when it happens, because he's a good cook. And he's my son, and I love him. And I knew he was gonna do something special, because he's just that kind of person. And if he puts his mind to it and he says he's gonna do it, I believe it. You gotta put God first, and after that, it'll work for you.
Nah, my nigga, this is dedication. This is anti-hesitation. This a real nigga celebration.
Okay, in 2010, me and Kevin, we met at LaCole Culinary. At that point, I was just building my food truck, a square meal. So Kevin just happened to see it, and he was telling me about this is something that he was getting ready to do. Now keep this in mind, when you're in school, everybody hungry, everybody got an idea of what they want to do. So at this time I had pretty much had a truck, and it was coming forward. So a lot of people was coming up to me and said, man, I'm gonna give me a truck, this is what I'm gonna do. And Kevin came to me and said, I'm gonna give me a truck, that's what I'm gonna do. So just like any and everybody else, I ain't think nothing of it. And then every now and then me and Kevin will walk past each other in hallways, and then we'll get to talking not only about the truck, but we'll talk about different things and different ideas that we was just bouncing them off each other. And that's when I started taking notice of them. From that point, after graduation, I started food trucking, really food trucking. The next thing I know, a Lick the Plate came out of nowhere. I'm talking about just, he called me and said, hey, I got me a bread truck. I found the bread truck. I'm finna fix this little truck up. So, at this time, I'm thinking I'm one of the biggest dogs out there on the street. And then here come a Lick the Plate. I'm talking about looking good, food good and everything else. So when he popped up out the window, it's me, you know what I'm saying? I was really surprised at him. And all the things, everything that he told me he was getting ready to do, it came to fruition, everything. So at this point now, we out here food trucking. So at this time, the idea of a brick and mortar came about. So he was telling me he was thinking about getting a brick and mortar, and I was in the process of doing the same. So we would still bounce ideas off each other and just talk. We'll find ourselves talking hours and hours just about how to make a different mayola, just so many things that we talked about. And after a while, next thing I know, he was telling me about Smackers. And Smackers, and he came up with this idea that it resembled a Snicker bar. And this Simon Club that he does, and that was his, that would have been his featured piece, this Simon Club. The signature dish was this Simon Club. And from Smackers, from a little space that he started off of Airways and Ketchum. It was, I think it used to be Ice Cream Plus, a little Ice Cream Plus building. He went inside this little small space and turned it completely around. This area, he had built this whole area up right here off of Airways and Lamar, turned this whole area all the way around. Smackers with this Simon Club sandwich that did all this. So one thing that I have noticed about Kevin, he's a very determined person. If he say he gonna do it, he gonna do it. He gonna do it. And not only that, I'm saying I know he knows food. You know, I think he's a foodie. Because one thing he does, we talk about different restaurants, who got this and what's good. So I really take what he tells me, I take it to heart. You know, I'm listening to what he's saying about different food. All the time on different food. But me and Kevin, we go way back, and I admire him for everything that he's done. He's a man of his word. His food is good. I don't want to sound biased because I take Kevin as my friend, you know, and I don't call a lot of people friend. One thing, he's a man of his word, you know, so real dependable and real trustworthy. I love Kevin, you know what I mean? So he's a good dude. That's just it, point blank.
To me, what stands out more about him is his character. I think Kevin has a warm spirit, and I noticed that the day I met him. He's a young dude, but his thoughts are very mature. And I'll give you a good example. I was getting ready to purchase a lawnmower, a riding lawnmower, 0 turn. And the thoughts that Kevin had, I had choices between a new one and a used one. And I think I was leaning towards the new one. But Kevin's logic, man, this lawnmower is good. You can look to see how it's built. You can repair it yourself. Those things really impressed me about Kevin. A stickler for detail, I've been knowing him a long time, and I listened to his logic. His logic makes sense. He's been a young man that's always looked after my son. He keeps me updated. Sometimes he's hard to get in contact with, but for the most part, Kevin does a good job of being in contact with me. I go back to, again, when I first met him, the things that he did then, the things he said, I could see that he wanted more out of life than life was giving him. He took advantage of situations, food truck, he got a food truck, and if you look at ordinary food trucks, you see that they are not built well, they are pulled by small vehicles, but he came and he got a big old Dodge truck, a big food truck, and he just pulled it, and he did well. He had it first class. You go inside and it's like he spent $1 million on the food truck, and it was well. Then he decided to open Smackers. And man, I went during the construction of Smackers to see the progression of it, the cameras, the details, the flooring, even the telephone work, the telephone wiring that he ran. He hid the wiring with conduit. He just was on point in taking care of his business. Kevin is a person with a very, very good spirit. And I love that about him, and he shows it in everything he does. Frankly, we need more people like Kevin. Kevin Jameson is #1 in my book. Anything that I can ever do for him, all he gotta do is call. And I don't feel that way about a lot of people, but I do respect him. You can tell when you talk to Kevin that he has a strong mother in his life, which parallels with me. You know, raised by a mother and a mama's boy, and he has good manners, good skills, communication skills, customer contact skills. Kevin is great. He's awesome. And from this day forward, I wish him the best, and I'm sure the best is going to be there. Because if you prepare yourself to be successful, you will be that.